The government of Uganda is committed to ensuring sustainable use of the environment and the natural resources. For us, environment and natural resources are at the core of sustainable development and critical for socio-economic development and transformation, healthy ecosystems, and human survival. No country can address the challenge of climate change alone. We must work together to increase adaptive capacities while minimizing the negative impacts of climate-related displacements and involuntary migration. I appeal to you to take advantage of this opportunity to further discussions on climate change and human mobility, to inform the upcoming 27th United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change Conference of the Parties, COP27, that is scheduled to take place in Egypt later this year. The commitment we have made today is our first landmark, strengthening our cooperation in relation to climate change-induced human mobility, including migration, displacement, and planned relocation.
This conference came at a critical time for our region. It came at a time when we are facing varied climate-induced disasters, such as floods, droughts, and landslides. These disasters affect our respective countries differently. Despite their different forms, recent studies have shown that we need to do one thing: adapt. And adaptation means devoting resources to building resilient communities. South Sudan has submitted its nationally determined contribution along with its first national adaptation plan to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. What is contained in these climate action documents can only be realized with the help of climate finance from the developed countries.
The sixth assessment report of the IPCC, released in April of this year, confirmed that we are in a state of global climate emergency. The planet is warming up faster than anticipated, and 1.5 degrees centigrade will be reached before 2040 instead of the end of the century, 2100. This report further warns that climate hazards will increase in frequency and intensity. Further, the war in Ukraine is now being used as an excuse to backtrack on the commitments made by some of our developed countries.
I don't think I am exaggerating if I said that the 27th session of the Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change comes at a very challenging time, at a very critical time. A time of cascading risks, challenges and threats to development, peace, and security, some of which are related to climate change and the extreme weather events that are impacting the lives and livelihoods of millions of people around the world. Some others have to do with the global pandemic, with a war in Europe that has the impact of a global financial crisis as well as a food security crisis. In the face of these risks, challenges, and threats, it is actually not time for despair. It's actually time for hope, for coming together, for reviving multilateralism as we move forward. It is time for action, and that is the way I think it is safe to say that Egypt approaches the honor and the responsibility of hosting the next COP, Africa's COP.
The partners invited to witness this signing of the declaration, the Republic of Senegal, who are the presidency. So ladies and gentlemen, mine is request you now to put your hands together for our commitment to this Kampala Declaration. Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, the Honorable Ministers, and Your Excellency, the Ambassadors here. We thank you so much.